Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, we are talking face oils. Now, I've already covered the topic of facial oil here on the channel before, but over the past 2 years, I've really experimented with different styles of oils and different application techniques. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I want to share them with you in today's video so you can learn from them, meaning you'll get maximum benefit from whichever face oil you reach for, and help you to easily layer them into your own skincare routine. We're going to cover everything off, talking about what's the benefits of face oils, which are the right face oils for each skin type, and of course how to use them correctly in your skincare routine. I want you to sit back, relax as we talk all things facial oil. Now, before we get into this video, I would love to know what your own experiences have been with face oils, so sound off in the comments section below and leave any of your personal holy grails and recommendations. This is still very much a journey that I'm on, and I would love to hear your recommendations because they will shape what I try in the future. Just promise me that whilst you're down there leaving your comment, you'll also give this video a thumbs up and a like. It's a great way of supporting me and the channel, and I'm always so grateful for all the love and support you guys give me. Currently on the channel, around 75% of people that watch the content aren't subscribed and aren't members of our fabulous Mad About Skin family. I want to change that, so if you're watching but you've yet to join us, why not gently caress that subscribe button, because I speak for everyone when I say we would love to have you as a core part of our Mad About Skin family. Now, with all that being said, shall we cut the waffle and just delve straight on in? I guess the best place to start is, what are face oils? Well, they come in various different formulations, different types, there's different names for them. It can all get a little bit confusing. But face oils are actually not all created equal. Different ones have different core components and profiles, so will deliver different benefits in the skin. It's really important that you match the face oil you reach for to your individual skin type and what benefits you want to get from it. To kind of make this easier, later on in the video, I've done a breakdown of some of my favourite types of face oil by each skin type. If you want to jump to that, I've left timestamps in the description box below, which is there to help you navigate your way through the video. I think primarily facial oil should have two functions. They should act as emollients, which are going to be fantastic for softening and enriching the skin. They also should have some occlusive properties to them. So when a product is occlusive, it means it leaves a layer on the skin that acts as like a trap to prevent transepidermal water loss. That's when the hydration, the water in our skin, is lost to the environment around us, which can cause dehydration and dry skin. I think an occlusive layer can be a fantastic way to finish your skincare routine, but different face oils have different levels of occlusivity, and you really need to factor that in. So hopefully this video will help you do all of that. I genuinely think there's a face oil out there for just about everyone's budget and skin type, but there's a couple of common mistakes I think we all make. I certainly have done over the past couple of years, and that's what I want to share with you in this section of the video. First and foremost is not matching the face oil you choose to your individual skin types. Like I said, different ones have different profiles and compositions, and so if you have a dry skin type, you want to go for one that's going to be more occlusive than some other ones. If you have oily or acne prone skin, you're going to want to choose for one that isn't going to clog the pores and break you out, and actually has some for acne fighting benefits. Like I said, I covered all of this later on in the video, but I think my main problem, my main issue that I had with face oils when I started out on the journey was I was using the wrong ones for my skin type, meaning I was actually getting the opposite results to what I wanted to achieve. Hopefully this video will address this, but this is the number one thing I would have at the forefront of your mind before you reach for a face oil. I think the second mistake we all make is that we think that face oils and moisturizers are the same thing. They're absolutely not. I see time and time again people online with dry skin saying, I'm slathering oils on my skin, but it's still dehydrated and dry. That's because face oils aren't moisturizers. They work beautifully well together and in combination, but they're not a replacement for. So moisturizers should have hydrating, moisturizing ingredients in them and humectants that attract and retain water within them. You then use your face oil to add that occlusive layer to prevent transepidermal water loss, and to also soften and nourish the skin. Like I say, they work beautifully well in combination, but you can't really get the same results by doing without one or other of them. Fortunately, the majority of good moisturizers now are actually formulated with face oils within them. When I created my own moisturizer, which is this, the Mad About Skin Maximum Impact Moisturizer, I chose to incorporate 3 different oils to really increase the benefits you're going to get from already those fantastic moisturizing ingredients. This is kind of like a face oil and a moisturizer all in one, and there's so many different moisturizers that also do this. You don't have to shop with my brand, but just be mindful that a face oil isn't a replacement for a good moisturizer in your skincare routine. I think the third mistake I made was using too much. I think we've all done this at one point. You see people slathering the oils on their skin so it looks like a complete grease slick. This just isn't the right approach. Actually, when it comes to using a face oil, if you have oily or acne prone skin, 1 or 2 drops is more than enough for the whole face and neck. If you have a dry skin type, you might want to use 2 or 3 drops, but that's really all that you need. I would also always recommend you apply your face oil onto damp skin. I know this can sometimes seem a bit counterintuitive because oils and water don't often mix, but actually this will help it absorb that a little bit quicker. It'll help it spread across the skin, meaning you don't have to use more product in order to get that full coverage. I hate to see people waste product, and if you're using more than those 3 recommended drops, actually you could be using way more product that you're ever going to get benefit from, meaning you run out quicker, costing a little more of your hard-earned coin. Save your money, extend the lifespan of your product, and also have a more enjoyable experience because it'll sink in better with just 1 to 3 drops. Now the 4th biggest mistake is also relating to that cost point, and that's overpaying for face oils. I think sometimes brands want us to believe that face oils are bougie, they're luxury, you have to pay more to get more, and you really just don't. I look at things like the Drunk Elephant Virgin Marula oil that comes in at like £60 as a price point here in the UK. That is just way too much for what is a single ingredient formulation. Actually, providing that you're reaching for a face oil that is cold pressed to retain its integrity and its benefits, organic if you can get it, and unrefined, that's all you're really needing. And you can get all of those qualities in under £10, $15. You don't need to break the bank and overpay for your face oil. You can still get fantastic benefits at the drugstore. I'm going to be making some recommendations later on in the video, but if you want to keep it super simple and all within one brand, honestly, I think The Ordinary has the best formulations when it comes to face oils at some beautifully affordable price points. I'll leave some links to some of my favourites in the description box below, but if you're in the market for a face oil and you don't know where to start, shop The Ordinary because they have such a great range and it's all at that beautiful drugstore price point, proving you don't need to overpay in order to get the great benefits of a face oil. So now we've covered off the common mistakes, let's talk about how to actually incorporate a facial oil into your skincare routine. Well, it usually comes towards the end. In any standard skincare routine and layering process, use your water-based formulations first and then you follow with your oil-based formulations. That's just because it's really difficult for water-based products to get through oil, meaning you're going to get less impact, less benefit. So start with your cleanse, your toners, your water-based serums, and then you're going to want to apply your facial oil. Now, whether you want to do it before or after your moisturizer, it doesn't really matter. My preference is to drop a couple of drops of my chosen face oil into my moisturizer to just dial up the intensity, dial up the benefit that you're going to get. As I referenced earlier in the video, I spoke about my own moisturizer. On the average day, because this has facial oils built within it, I will just use this as kind of like a 2-in-1. But there are those days where I feel I need a little extra occlusivity, I need a little extra kick from my moisturizer. And that's when I'll put a couple of drops of my favourite face oil mixed within this and apply it to the skin. This is one of my favourite techniques because it helps the face oil sink in that little bit quicker and that little bit better. It's great if you've got oily, acne-prone skin and you really don't want that greasy layer, even for a short period of time. Mixing it in with your moisturizer will stop that. The only thing I say to be cautious of when it comes to layering your face oils is don't use a pure face oil next to your SPF. If your face oil is in combination with a moisturizer, with a serum, that's absolutely fine. It's formulated to be absorbed super quickly. However, if you use a pure face oil, then follow straight away with your SPF, it can interact with that sunscreen, break it down, meaning you're not quite getting the protection you think. That's the one thing I would always caution. I see a lot of dermatologists online calling that out. That's something to be really mindful of. I'm finding if I reach for a moisturizer or a serum with a face oil in, that just takes the guesswork out of it. But if you want to use a face oil on its own, apply it to the skin, use it on an evening, because I think that way you're not going to be interacting or negatively impacting your sunscreen. So we've talked about what face oils can do, the benefits that they can bring, some of the mistakes that I've made along the way, so hopefully you don't have to repeat those, and how to layer them into your skincare routine. So I guess the only thing left to talk about is what are the best face oils for each skin type. Now I broke them down into 2 categories. We've got the oily, acne prone, and we've got the dry skin type. Of course, there's lots in between that, but I find when it comes to combination skin, all of them will probably work relatively well for you, which is one great benefit of having combination skin. You've got a little bit more flexibility in the face oil market. Let's start with my skin type, which is the oily, acne prone. Now this is where I think a lot of people are put off from reaching for face oils because I think the more oil we apply to our skin, the more breakouts we're going to have. Well, set that to one side because I'm here to tell you, having super oily, acne prone skin and experimenting with facial oils, if you choose the right one, actually it can be beneficial to your acne and breakouts. It can also help control the amount of oil in the skin. So don't let you be fooled by the idea that applying more oil is going to lead to more oily skin. That's not the case. Just choose the right one for you. For me, there's a couple that are holy grails. Let's start with this. This is rose hip seed oil. This is one by Baha Basics. It's just my favourite, but I also love the one from The Ordinary. The reason this is my go-to for oily, acne-prone skin is it's got a couple of benefits built in here. So the fatty acid profile of this means it'll actually help help to thin out the natural sebum production in our skin. So our skin produces those oils day in, day out, and sometimes in people like me, we overproduce them. This can lead to congestion in the pores, blackheads, breakouts. Actually, by using a rosehip seed oil, it'll thin out that sebum, meaning it can be released from the pores that little bit quicker. It's less gel-like, so it's less likely to stick, cause breakouts and blackheads, which is a fantastic, fantastic benefit. It's also really nice because it's got some element of vitamin A within here. It's not going to have a powerful anti-aging benefit like some retinoids would, but it can also be a really great way of just slightly speeding up the rate of cellular turnover, helping to eliminate some of those blackheads, some of the congestion, and some of the breakouts. It's also mildly occlusive, so it sinks in well. It doesn't leave you feeling like you're wearing a mask or a thick film on the skin like some other face oils will, which is definitely a bonus if, like me, you have super oily and acne-prone skin. You, of course, don't have to reach for rosehip seed oil. Some other great oils for oilier skin are hemp oil. This is fantastic because, again, it's mildly occlusive. It's also got some really nice sebum regulating benefits to it, as has grapeseed oil, which is, again, another one of my absolute favourites. Any of these will work really well, and take it from me, by using a face oil actually could help regulate the level of oiliness to the skin. Don't be under that false impression that I had for the longest possible time, that by applying a face oil, you're more likely to be oily and break out. That's not the case. They can add so many great benefits. I've left some links to my favourite grapeseed, hemp, and rosehip seed oils in the description box below if you want to shop any of them, but I say those are the 3 holy grails for oily, acne-prone skin. Let's go to the other end of the skin type spectrum. What happens if you're super, super dry? So in this case, you want to go for an oil that is much richer, much thicker, and will add an occlusive layer to the skin. Transepidermal water loss is a bigger problem if you already have pre-existing dryness to the skin. You want to keep that to a minimum. So by reaching for something that's a little bit more occlusive, you're going to get that. You also want to go for a richer oil. It's got a better balance of fatty acid composition, which is going to really nourish and hydrate the skin beyond what you'll get from like a rosehip seed oil. So some of the best out there are argan oil, which is fantastic, deeply nourishing, really occlusive to prevent that transepidermal water loss, but it's also a really nice pleasurable oil to use. It sinks in nicely, it leaves a nice feel to the skin, and also it's one of the more affordable of the oils out there. You don't need to break the bank to get this fantastic, fantastic oil in your skincare routine. The same profile goes for jojoba oil, which again is one of my personal favourites. Whilst I don't use it day in, day out because I've got that oilier skin type, I like to use it on the body where I've got areas of dryness to really complement my moisturiser. And finally, squalane oil. This is now plant derived, which is fantastic for anyone that's living a vegan or plant-based lifestyle. There's lots of plant-based squalanes out there. One of my favourites being from The Ordinary. The reason I want to call this out, it's got great benefits for drier skin types. It gives maximum occlusivity for oils, but also, alongside all of that, it comes at a beautifully affordable price point. This is great because not everybody wants to splurge on their face oils, and like I said earlier, you don't need to overpay in order to get great benefits. A plant-based squalane oil can be all you need for your dry, dehydrated skin to complement your moisturiser, but doesn't need to break the bank. Purito do a fantastic one, The Ordinary do an amazing one. There's lots of drugstore brands that can really deliver in this category. Hopefully, by sharing with you in this video my own experience with facial oils, it'll prevent you making some of the mistakes I made, helping you to get the maximum benefit from whichever one you choose, but also layering it correctly in your skincare routine. Those 3 oils that I mentioned for each skin type aren't the only ones out there. There's so much more, and I'd encourage you to explore. Some of my favourite creators that have covered face oils in more depth are Gothamista. Renee over on that channel is just amazing. She's got one of the most soothing voices. She really knows her stuff when it comes to face oils. Similarly, Dr. Alexis Stevens is one of my favourite online dermatologists. I get so many of the hints, tips and hacks from her channel, which I absolutely love. So I've linked both of those channels below if you want to explore this topic in a little bit more detail. I definitely encourage you to go out and check those channels out and show them some love because they're fabulous content creators. Wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and love your skin. Take care. Bye.